Believe it or not, it's time to start thinking about going back to school. I can hear that collective sigh, like, already? And now is the perfect time to make sure your kids have the proper vaccinations. Dr. Rachel Dawkins, a pediatrician at Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital, joins us with details on what kids need, what parents need to know. Welcome, how are you?
Great, thanks for having me here today.
Now I say we feel kind of bad. We had cupcakes and now we've got a pediatrician on here too. It's kind
now we'll talk about healthy eating.
No, we're so excited you're here because why is it so important that people start thinking about physicals now instead of waiting till August?
It's hard to believe back to school is only a month away. Yes. So a short month from now, kids are going to be going back and there's going to be a huge rush at pediatrician's office to get back to school physicals done. So the best thing is to call now, make your appointment, get your back to school physical done well in time so you're not fighting the crowds at the office.
So there's no kind of time frame that you have to be super close to school. I mean, you can do it at any time.
You can do it anytime throughout the whole year. A lot of people do it around their kids' birthdays, but a lot of parents kind of wait till the end and remember, oh my goodness, I need a form filled out. So it's time to go back and start to think about those back to school physicals.
Well, you know, speaking of forms to fill out, it seems like athletes are always ones that really need those physicals. How important is that for parents of athletes?
It's very important to have a back to school physical and a sports physical done for athletes. We talk about all types of things, you know, the athlete's history, did they have a concussion previously, family history, is there a history of sudden cardiac death, and then we really want to check out the athlete and make sure they're okay to play, you know, their heart's working well, their joints are great, and that they're at top physical form to be out there on the field.
Well, doctor, it's interesting you just brought up the medical history. It sounds like you almost kind of need to go into these a little prepared.
Yes, so make sure that you know mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, brothers, sisters, what medical problems they have.
Just to be able to inform the doctor, which kind of goes into the communication aspect. Talk about that communication with the pediatrician to make sure everybody's on the same page.
It's so great to have a pediatrician that you know and trust and that you can go in and have a open dialogue about all types of things. You ask your pediatrician a lot of interesting questions and you really care about what they're talking about, and your pediatrician cares about your child, so it's a great relationship.
What about vaccinations, the things that I'm sure people don't want me to say out loud and kids are probably thinking, oh no, more shots. What are the vaccinations that we're looking at?
So kids need shots at lots of different times, but for back to school, they need shots before kindergarten and before 7th grade in the state of Florida. So we think of them in the pediatrics world as 4 years old and 11 years old. But so kindergarten, 7th grade, thereabouts, they need to have some vaccines and double check. But it's a great time every year to ask your pediatrician, are you up to date on vaccines?
I was going to say, so, and what are those vaccines? How many are we looking at those times?
So there's quite a few. Usually for a 4-year-old, they're getting 4 different vaccinations: measles, mumps, rubella, chicken pox, diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis. Pertussis is whooping cough, and then polio. So they're getting boosters of all those shots. And then for the 11-year-olds or 7th graders, they're actually getting boosters as well. They're getting a tetanus booster, they're getting a meningitis vaccine, and they're also going to get their Gardasil or HPV vaccine, which protects against cancer.
Okay, so you've got the vaccinations, and say your child does not fall under those groups or your child is not an athlete. Still a good idea to get those physicals?
Every year, it's a great idea to have your physical to check up on growth, development, how they're doing in school, any behavior problems, just touching base at least once a year with your pediatrician.
Once a year, and I like the birthday idea instead of waiting till August.
It's a great, easy way to remember your child has a birthday. After their birthday, it's time to go in and get a little birthday checkup.
Well, any other tips that you want to share with parents who are getting ready for back to school before we know it?
You know, just call early, make those appointments, and, you know, if you have any questions or concerns, make sure to talk to your pediatrician about them.
You know, we're not here yet, but I do want to throw this in. Flu shots. While you're talking about vaccinations, I'm thinking, okay, how about the whole flu shot thing?
Yeah, so it's almost time for flu season.
Really?
Yeah, it's hard to believe. August, September is usually when we start getting our newest vaccines, the flu vaccines. So anytime in the fall would be a great time to get your flu shot. It's a great way to protect against the flu. No one likes getting sick with the flu, and flu season is right around the corner. Are
you biased to the spray or the? Well, just one's better, just get something.
Well, the CDC is now saying the spray is really not as effective. So it looks like most of our kids are going to be getting shots this year, unfortunately.
Okay, well, I know we were talking back to school, but I had to take advantage and talk the other shot there. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Gosh, back to school already.